Is taking place today. SNN's Annette Gutierrez joins us live now at the USF Sarasota Manatee campus with the details on the 9/11 Remembrance ceremony planned for today. Good morning, Annette.
Morning, Jenna. Yes, I'm here at the USF Sarasota Manatee campus in the courtyard where you can see 2,977 flags were planted, and this is all in remembrance of the lives that were lost 21 years ago on September 11th. And joining me is the event coordinator of this event, because there will be a remembrance ceremony. It's Kelly Bush. So talk to me about what we can expect in about an hour.
Yeah, so we're going to start out the day with a flag raising ceremony, and then we're going to invite all the guests. Roughly 300 should be here in attendance. We're going to invite them out to the courtyard here. There will be a beautiful ceremony involving police, military, firefighters, and lots of members of our community. They will be remembering the lives that were lost and honoring them.
And I understand a man by the name of Peter Abbott, he actually served during that time. He was with NYPD, right?
That is correct. So he is actually our keynote speaker today. He was the former Sarasota Chief of Police and was also at 9/11 serving in Lower Manhattan. So I think his story will be extremely moving for all of the gathering people today.
And so why is it important for us to remember this day and to be hosting a ceremony like this?
Absolutely. 9/11 impacted all of us, and it's something that I think has shaped many of our lives. And there were so many people that were lost that day that we need to honor. And this community supports our military, our veterans, and they're a big part of the USF family. So it's very important to our community that we put on something that would make them proud.
And I understand you have a personal connection, right? You have somebody who's serving in the military, a family member. Talk to me about who.
Sure. So my husband is a 3rd Petty Officer for the U.S. Navy. He was drawn to service, I think, because as a child, 9/11 affected him. His entire family is police and military, so they all are in the line of service. So events like this today bring a lot of emotion for me. They're very important moments to remember and honor those who sacrifice their lives for our family. So.
No, very good. And thank you for your husband, for his service, and to all of the service members out there. And on that day, there were people who were not first responders who ran into the towers to help people. So a lot of heroes that day made the ultimate sacrifice. But we will have more on this in the next half hour. The ceremony is free. It's happening at 8:15, so anyone can come out, right?
Absolutely, yes. We'd love to have you.
All right, so you heard it. If you guys want to come out and remember those lives lost, you will have an opportunity to do that. So we'll have more in the next half hour. Jenna, back to you.
The 21st anniversary of the September 11th terrorist attacks is this weekend, and the UF Sarasota Manatee campus is hosting a ceremony this morning to remember all the lives lost in this tragedy. SNN's Annette Gutierrez is there, and she joins us live. Good morning, Annette.
Yes, good morning, Kathy. 2,977 lives were lost on September 11th during that tragedy, the terrorist attacks. And actually, behind me, there are 2,977 flags planted right here in the USF campus courtyard. And joining me is USF Veteran Engagement Services, Carlos Moreira. Sorry, I totally butchered that. But anyway, so what can we expect? The ceremony starts at 8:15, and it's free for the public. Anyone can participate. From I understand, 300 people are expected to come. But what can people expect when they come?
Yes, thank you. So we're going to have two parts of the ceremony. The first part starting at 8:15 with the flag raising. We got a unit of Marines from Tampa going to do the flag raising, and then at 8:30, we're going to do the second part of the ceremony. And the second part is going to have a lot of law enforcement, first responders attending, being part of the ceremony. We're going to have a guest speaker, Peter Abbott. He was NYPD retired, Chief of Police for the Police Department in Sarasota, and a USF alum. We have a kids choir from St. Stephen's Episcopal Church, first graders. They're going to do a phenomenal job today singing. We have so many things in store. We have Lee Washington, Manatee Manatee County Director of Community and Veteran Services. He's going to be doing kind of like a speech called All Glory that talks about the flag. We're doing passing of the flag, every representation of first responders, civilians, and the military of actions that took place when we lost lives in, the Twin Towers, the Pentagon, and the fields of Pennsylvania, first responders that served, and then the military that took it overseas to continue that war. So they're going to be doing us the honors of passing the flag. We have the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office. They're going to be doing the 21-gun salute. We also have Manatee County Services. They're going to be doing the honor guard. And we just have a lot in store. And once again, it is free and open to the public. And it's the least that we can do is just remember, what took place.
Right, and we all remember what happened. I mean, everyone remembers that day, what they were doing. You were serving in the military, so talk to me about that day, rewind 21 years ago.
Yes, so I was serving in the Marine Corps camp in California, and on that day I was, don't know if you say lucky, but I was working that morning. There's a 3-hour difference. I was working at 3 in the morning, and as soon as we came in, within 2 hours later, we were watching the news that something happened in the tower. We didn't know what it was till we saw a second plane hit the second tower, and that's when a little bit of panic started happening because I'm from New York too. So I tried to call home. All phone lines were dead. Nobody was answering. I was not able to get a hold of nobody till like 8 p.m. that evening, 10 p.m., making sure that my parents, my sisters, everybody was okay. So it was mixed emotions, anger, worry, sad, frustration. But definitely, like you said, I'm just not gonna forget what I was going through at that moment, what I was wearing, and how I was sitting down, and where the TV was located.
Yeah, I mean, that's what everyone is going to be remembering this weekend. We're all just going to be reflecting on that day and remembering all the lives lost. They were heroes who were not first responders. People just ran into the building to help and do what they can because it was such a tragedy. And now we will have more coverage on this in the next half hour and also the 8:15 ceremony. So stay tuned with SNN. We will have all that coverage. But for now, reporting in Sarasota, Annette Gutierrez, SNN, the Suncoast News Network.
Well, it's hard to believe, but it is the 21st anniversary of the September 11th terrorist attacks that comes up this weekend. And the USF Sarasota Manatee campus is hosting a ceremony that will start in just a few minutes from now to remember all those lives lost in that tragedy. SNN's Annette Gutierrez is there, and she joins us live this morning. Hi, Annette.
Yes, good morning, Jenna. 2,977 lives were lost during the terrorist attack 21 years ago. And actually behind me, you may or not be able to see, but flags are planted here in the courtyard. And that's 2,977 flags to remember all of the victims of the terrorist attacks. And now joining me are some ladies you may recognize. We have the president and the chancellor of the University of South Florida. And so this is a ceremony that's starting in just a few moments. It's free to the public. But talk to me about why it's so important to never forget.
This is such an important event because it brings our community together and it gives us a time to reflect on the atrocities that occurred, but how we came together as one nation to really focus on what's important to us, our freedom, our ability to love each other, our ability to work together.
Yes, and it was such a tragedy. We all remember that day 21 years ago. Do you remember what you were doing that day?
I remember exactly what I was doing. It was still early morning. I was at the University of Georgia. I was sitting in my office doing email and all of a sudden started seeing what was coming over it and then quickly called campus and said, "Are you all watching? What's going on? What are we doing? What are we doing here? What are we doing now?" Yeah, I'll never forget that day. Never.
Yeah, and so what does it mean for you to know that we are remembering the lives, as you just mentioned, the victims and the heroes, the first responders, everyone who was a part of this event?
Well, yeah, I think we all know people. We all know somebody who was lost, or we all know somebody who knows other people who were lost, and we all know both first responders and victims in general, and you just can't help but think about them again. And it is as sad today as it was then.
Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned, we'll never forget. And so talk to me about when you were there. Do you remember 21 years ago?
I was over in Clearwater. We were doing a 9/11 event for the American Heart Association, and we were talking about the outreach for the American Heart Association when all of a sudden the news started coming in. And I rushed back to my office, and the entire office was in front of the televisions looking to see what was going on. So it was it was just unbelievable what we were watching. It was like it wasn't real. And another reason that we want to do this today is to remember our first responders who were there, as well as our first responders now. They continue to protect us. I found out this morning that we have on our police force for the University of South Florida NYPD officers who were there and responding at the time, and they're now here protecting us. We owe them a debt of gratitude.
Yes, and actually the featured guest in this event happening in just a few moments, Peter Abbott. He served on the New York Police Department, and he actually was a former Sarasota police chief. So he is going to be coming and he's going to be talking, and there's also going to be a 21-gun salute and taps playing, and there's going to be a children's choir. So there's going to be a lot going on. You still have time to come out. It's going to be an hour long, so stay tuned. We'll have coverage later tonight. Jenna, we'll go back to you for now.
That definitely sounds like beautiful coverage this morning.